Rosie O'Donnell. A name most of us definitely recognize. And lately, there have been kind of two big things people are talking about. Her, well, pretty significant weight loss, and also, let's be honest, just general curiosity about her financial standing after such a long career.
Exactly. So that's what we're focusing on in this deep dive. We're looking into Rosie's health journey, the weight loss aspect, and also trying to get a handle on her estimated net worth for, say, 2024.
Yeah, the big questions seem to be, how did she lose the weight? Was it surgery? Was it like one of those newer medications?
Right. And then what's the financial picture? What does that look like now? So our aim here is really just to unpack all of that using the info we could find from, various articles and reports.
Okay, sounds good. So we've gathered info from reports on her health, her finances. Let's just get into it. Starting with the weight loss, that's definitely got people talking. There was a lot of speculation, particularly about gastric bypass surgery.
Yeah, there was. But what's interesting is that Rosie actually addressed that head on. I think it was in a podcast interview back in maybe 2023.
Oh, really? What did she say?
She was pretty clear, actually. Said she didn't have weight loss surgery. She kind of felt her metabolism needed a bit of help, after trying different diets over the years. That was her explanation, roughly.
Okay, so no surgery. That kind of points us in another direction then, doesn't it?
It does. It naturally leads to thinking about, GLP-1 agonists, things like Ozempic, Mounjaro. They're everywhere in the news now for weight management and blood sugar.
Right. Those are the ones, glucagon-like peptide-1 agonists. They help manage appetite, blood sugar. Definitely relevant here.
Precisely. And while Rosie hasn't, publicly named the exact drug she's on, the sources we looked at suggest she started taking a new injectable sometime in 2022.
Ah, okay. New injectable in 2022.
Yeah. And given that timing, plus the significant weight loss reported, it strongly points towards one of these GLP-1 agonists, like semaglutide, that's Ozempic, or tirzepatide, which is Mounjaro.
And how do those actually work again, just briefly?
Well, basically, they mimic a hormone your body already makes. This hormone tells your brain you're full, and it also slows down how fast your stomach empties, so less appetite, better blood sugar control. It's kind of that double effect.
Gotcha. And the results, they seem pretty clear in her case. How much are we talking?
The reports say over 50 pounds since starting in 2022. And what's really notable is that she seems to have kept it off, maintained it well into 2025.
Wow, over 50 pounds and maintaining it? That's significant. Was it just the medication or were other factors involved?
Well, the sources really emphasize it's more of a comprehensive approach. It's not just the medication.
Right.
She's apparently been really focused on portion control too and adding in exercise, specifically low impact stuff like swimming.
Okay, so meds, diet changes, exercise, kind of a multi-pronged strategy.
Exactly, which seems key for the long-term thing she's aiming for.
Yeah, I think I saw a quote from her saying something like, "It's not a quick fix, it's lifelong health." That really sums it up, doesn't it?
It does. It shifts the focus away from just a number on the scale.
Speaking of numbers, though, do we have specifics? Her height, weight before, weight now.
Yeah, let's see. Height is listed as 5'7", so about 170 centimeters. Before 2022, her highest estimated weight was apparently over 230 pounds.
Okay.
And now, in 2024, reports suggest she's around 180 pounds.
So, a noticeable difference.
Definitely. And what's interesting is her current perspective. She apparently said on Instagram that her focus now is more on building strength, not just the scale number.
That sounds like a really healthy mindset shift. Good for her.
Yeah, it really does.
And looking forward into 2025, does it seem like she has a plan to, keep this going?
It appears so. The plan seems to involve continuing the medication under medical guidance, of course, plus sticking to a sort of Mediterranean-style diet, maybe with more plant-based proteins, and also making things like daily walks and yoga a regular part of her routine.
So it really sounds like a sustained effort, combining medical help with ongoing lifestyle adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty good example of how these newer medical options, when used alongside, conscious changes in diet and exercise, can really lead to lasting health improvements.
Yeah.
It's holistic.
Okay, that gives us a really clear picture of the health journey side of things. Let's switch gears now to the other big topic, her net worth.
Right. The money side.
According to Celebrity Net Worth, the estimate for 2024 is pretty hefty, $120 million.
$120 million. Yeah, that's a substantial figure. And what's interesting there is how diversified her career has been.
How so?
Well, she hasn't just done one thing, right? She's been successful in talk shows, acting in films, even production. That ability to kind of move between different areas of entertainment has probably been huge for her financial longevity.
Makes sense. So breaking down that $120 million, where did it mainly come from? TV and film must be a big chunk.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Rosie O'Donnell show was massive back in the day. That alone would generate significant income, salary, maybe production points, ownership.
Yeah, that show was huge. And movies, too, right? A League of Their Own is iconic. She was in SMILF more recently, too.
Exactly. Consistent work in TV and film over decades. But then there's also the production side.
Right, you mentioned production deals. Like what?
Now, she was a co-producer on The View for a time. And she's produced various specials, often for networks like Lifetime. Those behind-the-scenes roles, they can be really lucrative, sometimes with, long-term financial benefits.
Okay, so performer and producer. Anything else major contributing to that number?
Real estate is another factor mentioned. She's apparently bought and sold some pretty high-value properties over the years. Think homes in places like New York City, Miami. Those kinds of transactions can definitely add up and boost the overall portfolio.
Sure, high-end real estate deals.
So you put it all together, the long-running talk show, the acting career, the producing credits, the real estate moves. And that $120 million figure starts to make a lot of sense. It reflects this really successful, kind of multifaceted career path.
Okay, so let's just quickly revisit those initial questions we laid out. Did she have weight loss surgery?
No. The information points to no surgery. Instead, it was FDA-approved medications, very likely one of the GLP-1 agonists like Ozempic or Mounjaro, plus those lifestyle changes.
Got it. And the amount of weight lost?
Over 50 pounds, starting back in 2022, and importantly, she's kept it off.
Right. And finally, her estimated net worth in 2024?
Estimated at $120 million.
Okay. So this deep dive really gives us insight into both her personal health journey and, the results of a long and varied career in the public eye.
It does. It kind of shows how these things, health, career, finances, can be really intertwined, especially for someone so well known. The numbers and headlines represent a real person's experiences and choices.
Absolutely. And honestly, it's quite inspiring to see her focus shift towards sustainable health, long-term well-being, rather than just chasing a quick fix or a certain look. That quote you mentioned earlier really says it all.
Yeah, I'm not chasing skinny, I'm chasing alive. It's powerful.
It really is. It resonates, I think.
Definitely. And, it kind of leaves you, the listener, with something to think about, too. With medications like Ozempic and Mounjaro becoming so much more visible, so much more common, what does that mean for society? What are the broader implications of these newer ways of thinking about weight management and health?
That's a really interesting question to ponder. Definitely food for thought.